Hey there, and welcome to my last webcast of 2008. I'm leaving for a faraway place in a few days, so I'll be gone, and this will be my last politically related comment until after we've elected a new president. I wanted to say a few things. This whole journey, I guess, started way back in October of 2006. That was a congressional midterm election. And I was working for a Republican here in Massachusetts, which, was a little different. And one day on the campaign trail, this candidate turned to me and he said, "Luke, are you a Republican?" And I thought about that, and there was probably an answer I should have given him, I thought. And I said, well, my parents are both Democrats, and they have been Democrats for a long time. And that answer was not good enough for him, and it turns out it wasn't good enough for me. I realized I could make up my own mind about things, and he told me that I should. So, a few months later, it was March of 2007, and I was starting to cover the election, the presidential primaries in New Hampshire. And it turns out that the majority of the events I went to in the beginning were for Republicans, not Democrats. And pretty quickly I acquired this new title of being the guy who supported, of all people, Mike Huckabee for president. And there are not very many Huckabee supporters here in Massachusetts. And instead of running away from that label, that title, I said, well, this is a good test. Can I do it? Can I be a Mike Huckabee supporter? And within a few weeks, I was going to GOP barbecues and Republican fundraisers all around New England. And I was on a first-name basis with a lot of these Republican operatives and campaign people around New Hampshire. And maybe I took it too far. Maybe when I started breaking out the Bible and saying and finding defense for all my arguments, maybe that was too far. And some people hung up on me when I was arguing on the phone. But I won't regret that. And I happen to think that arguing the other side of things with your whole focus is just as important as arguing what you really think. So on the afternoon of January 3rd, 2008, I was in Iowa at a ballroom in Des Moines, and I was surrounded by teenagers from all around the Midwest. They're all wearing shirts that said, "Pray for Mike Huckabee." They came from their churches, and they were there to pray that Huckabee was elected president. And many people would have run away and said, "That's not what I think, get me out of here." But I realized then that they didn't love a different country than I loved. They just wanted to see a whole different set of things happen on Election Day. We just wanted different things. So later, I made up my own mind on things. And about a month after that time in Des Moines, I went to the polls here in Massachusetts and voted for Hillary Clinton. It may not have been the thing people expected me to do, but it's what felt right to me. So now we've got a whole bunch of different candidates. And a Democrat, and a Republican, and a few others. Maybe you like them in the beginning, maybe you just have to like them, or told you're supposed to like them. And a few weeks ago, I talked to someone who I met a long time ago in New Hampshire. He was working for a campaign for a Democrat in New Hampshire for all of 2007. And after the New Hampshire primary, his candidate dropped out a few weeks later. And he was told by his boss that it was his duty and responsibility as a Democrat to move shop to Philadelphia and work for the new candidate, the new presumptive nominee. Now, he said no, because he didn't have enough time to make up his own mind about what he wanted to do. And they sort of said, well, whatever, do what you want, but you shouldn't have made that decision. And I happen to agree with him. He'll definitely vote for Barack Obama. But you shouldn't be forced to, and you shouldn't feel that you have to vote for someone just because the party that you supposedly like more than the other one says you have to. Or because everyone else that you know says you should. 450 blog posts after I started covering the election. I'm not most proud about having been to X fundraiser or seen Oprah on the trail or met Todd Palin. But I'm proud because I feel, to some extent, that I can understand why 100 million Republicans are going to vote for John McCain this year, and why 100 million Democrats and independents will vote for Barack Obama. Half this country will wake up the day after the election and want to punch a wall. They will. They'll just freak out. They'll be angry and upset with the new president we have. It could be you, and it could be me. Now, there's not one way to elect a president. If you vote on the issues, you're not going to necessarily get a better president than if everyone voted for who they wanted to have a beer with. That could yield a great president as well. So I will wake up on the day after the election in South Africa this year and say, wow, while I was sleeping, America elected a new president. That's a lot to get done overnight. And I won't be upset that I missed out on the projections and the exit polls. Instead, I'll be happy that I had this opportunity to experience so much and so many point of views, and that I was able to have a way of sharing them with people along the way. So thank you for listening and watching for so long and making this so very enjoyable for me. Thanks a lot.